it in where, we give them, some free rent, whatever we need to do. We're trying to do everything we can so it doesn't come out of, our general fund.
But free rent doesn't get us a return on investment.
Well, if you look at the bill now and he fixes it up and puts $1 million into it, yeah, it does actually help the city.
It'll be 2
Because it's
million
our
plus.
deed.
We've got a payment that we're having
Yeah.
to make on.
That's part of it too. He has, discussed with us about paying that off too.
He'll put at least, I imagine,
That last part, Scott paying off what? What was the last part you said?
We're working,
We've got a $600,000 mortgage on it, we're paying $50,000 a year, and free rent doesn't pay $50,000.
That's correct.
It doesn't in my house.
Well, it doesn't in my house either, but if he does agree, which we've had this conversation and it seemed very positive for him to put that into his portion and pay for that off, then it really is it's a great thing for the city. But it would be a long term, he's looking at wanting to do, and totally get it. If he is investing that much money into a building, he wants a long term, lease. So, it could easily be a 20-year lease. But the way I look at it, the building needs a lot of help. And anybody wants to go into it, y'all let us know. We'll be glad to let you tour it.
fabulous inside. It really
but
is.
It's got great bones,
Mhm.
great bones. But
Mhm.
it needs a lot of work, and we're thankful that he is looking at taking it over with the city not paying anything on it. And if we can get that loan paid off, that's just a bonus and a major plus.
Yeah. Rodney?
So what you're talking about is, you want to lease this building.
Can you speak up?
You want to lease this building to somebody, they're going to regenerate.
Yes,
Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
correct.
But they're going to pay off the loan.
It's going to be it's part of the agreement. Yes.
Once you sell it, you got the money. Let him do what he wants to do. I mean, I don't understand.
Well, we will eventually make, there's going to be a tier. That's what we're working on right now, where when it's fully built out and there's tenants in there, that we will start making a percentage of money from that revenue. So we're looking at a long.
I presume our city charter allows the city to do commercial real estate.
No, that's why we have a DDA. The Stansford building is.
Is the DDA part of the city?
It is, but that is one of their.
Charters.
I mean, that is one of their jobs is to pretty much revamp the downtown area, keep it lively, keep people wanting to come to the downtown area.
That's not what I asked. I asked if the city charter allows the city to own real estate, do commercial real estate business.
Well,
That's what you're doing. The city hall, the police station down there, you lease it out, you own that building, lease it out. No, we got this over here, we got, if you're in a commercial real estate business, competing with, private industry out there. Does the charter value do that?
well, I don't think the charter says that you can't do it. If you go to Brazelton and pull every bit of their property, they have most of the downtown area is their properties. The 1904 building is owned by the town of Brazelton. The local station building is owned by the town of Brazelton. All those little buildings are owned by the town. Countryside Antique is owned by the town of Brazelton.
Historical building? You can't do anything else with it?
And that's, I mean,
Those are historical buildings, you can't tear them down and do.
they're not registered.
They're not.
Mm-mm.
Those buildings not registered.
I know it's under a grant, and that would be if you do get a grant. Yeah, I don't know exactly if that's registered, but I do know there was a grant, giving you certain stipulations that you could do with that building. But now, once the grant is completed, you can do what you want to with that building. But I mean, it's a great building, great bones. I couldn't imagine why they would want to tear it down.
And your last one was Oak Street. Do you want to take that one, please?
Sure. So Oak Street that's correct. There's been all kinds of talk about Oak Street. I think our staff has heard 20 different visions for Oak Street. But it's never been consistent. The vision has never been consistent. And I think a lot of it has been because of the turnaround with the mayor and council, with resignations, have happened. We did give that to the DDA to help us with that project. But I don't know that the mayor and council were really satisfied with their findings. I know that they had wanted benches and just a very passive park with some pavilions, benches. I know they did want a walking trail around it at one time. But I was the one that actually suggested that we table that until the new mayor and council could come on board, because just nothing has really, I think, sparked that little area to make it something great yet. And so, and if y'all know me very well, I'm always, if you do something, just know it's very permanent. So if you're going to do it right the first time. So I actually suggested to the existing mayor and council now to wait till January to hand it off to the new mayor and council, so that they could possibly have surveys or have group meetings and get ideas from you all to see what you want down there. And we've heard about the community garden. That was great. But, moving it to the Mulberry might be the best thing and doing something different there, as Dee had suggested. So I think the more ideas, it will give us a better concept of what we should put there.
Yeah, because my main concern was, again, dumping more money into something that we're not getting anything back. I mean, besides leasing out, I guess, I'm not sure how someone was planning on handling the community garden. But there's more to it than meets the eye, that involves that sort of thing. I just want to see the city get more money and something and get a little more of that.
And it might be that, just let it sit for a little bit until, like you said, until the money's raised and we figure out who's going to maintain it. Community garden, you've got to have somebody maintain it. You've got to have somebody pull those weeds. There might be restaurants that come in that might want to sponsor that, or different commercial that comes in that wants to sponsor it, or even different organizations. But I think it needs to be a group effort, whatever happens down there.
Like I said, since I'm new, what's the under the sun with, what is that all about?
Well, that's going away. That's going away. That property has been purchased by Southeastern, which is developing Kroger. Yeah. So, pardon? We're going to put a Kroger. And
That's another one, we can put that concept plan on there as well. We have that plan, if you want to put that on there.
yeah. It is not. I would hate to open those doors. I don't know what's in there. I want to follow up on something that Jennifer said. I think Dave has a comment also, if I'm not mistaken, and then Ace, we'll get to you. The parks, the Oak Street, even Mulberry. This is this is another thing, and I hate to keep pushing it over back to you, but what do you want? We need, it can't be 7 people making a decision for almost 6,000 people now. That's old school. We're new school. What do you want? What can you help with? I know somebody that's sitting literally right in front of me. Jack Flint is his name. Can you stand up?
He might know a thing or two about landscaping.
He knows a lot of thing or two about landscaping. We need volunteers from the community, like Jack, like D. So D's gonna join the DDA and volunteer for the garden. I mean, we need your input. We need your input to make the, to make. Okay, great.
Just for Dee, just for her peace of mind, I think that Oak Street property has a deed restriction on it that it was given to the city to be a park.
That's all it can be.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, that's true. That's all it can be, is a park.
Oh, I didn't
So it
know.
can't be
There you
rezoned.
go. I
Yeah.
didn't realize that.
Yeah.
You can't build on it.
No.
It has to be a park.
It has to be a park.
Yeah, it was deeded, it was property that was owned by somebody that got foreclosed on, and then the bank went out of business, and the bank gave it to the city, that it be a park in perpetuity.
Good, that says a lot, answers a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Ace, did you have something?
Yep, since you asked, I'll tell you what I want.
Oh!
We want.
That's what we like.
My question has to do with long-range budget planning. So is there a plan, a forecast, 10 years out? The chief needs 3 new police cars, and here's what our expected budget is, here's what our expected revenue sources is. And I know it's a crystal ball, and I understand it. And if there is something like that, where is it that we see that? Because I like to think, you know, being in the Army for as long as I was and working for a major corporation for as long as I did, we always did long-term forecasting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I had to build an airplane, what's it gonna cost me in the next 8 years? Material costs, labor costs, and what's my revenue stream going to be to support that? Is there any type of analysis or any of those numbers available?
you involved if you can be.
Well, I do know that we've been working with Tiffany on next year's budget somewhat, and I don't know, quite frankly, if we have like a 5-year, 10-year plan out there. I do know that the cities look out 5 and 10 years, especially when we do the loans and stuff. But right now, from my standpoint, when we worked on the current budget, what we're trying to do is just learn the budget, because a lot of what's been put in place is kind of like handed off. So we're trying to find out, do we have the budget to support what we have? What we're also trying to do is, when we were running, and I say we, there was the mayor, myself, there was Tina Brown, there was Scott Coulter, and there was J.J. Johnson. We all kind of came to an agreement that we did need to make a vision, which would come out to make a long-term plan. So in terms of, do we have, we know that we're going to have 3 more policemen, are we budgeting for that? I would say the answer is no. What we're trying to do right now is kind of get through the growth plan that we have, survive the storm a little bit, get with you all, come together with a plan that will create a vision and a target of where we're wanting to go, then start creating a budget for that, saying this is what we want to do. But in the meantime, there's things coming up that, take for example the sewer system. We've got a lot of development, and we're going to be paying for that sewer system, whereas in the future we know that we're going to pre-charge for that, if you would, or get money impact fees up front and so forth. So that will all kind of have an impact on what our budget's going to be. So, I mean, we said when we were running, we're going to be as honest as we can with you. I do not know what the future budget is, except for next year.
And I guess, so, my concern would be like, and I don't know, I'm just picking a number, I'm just gonna say it costs $1 million to resurface 1 mile of road. Well, you know, and the road lasts 15 years, so we should have a target of $800 million to repave all the roads in the next 15 years. But where's that revenue? Because I don't want the city tax, you know, the mill rate to go back up. We worked hard to get it down, but I don't want it to go up because all of a sudden it says, oh crap, I gotta pay for 18 miles of road and we don't have the money to increase the mill rate.
Jennifer, don't we do
Why are we
like a
paying
5
for
and 10
it
year?
We've got, so we, do you mind if I speak?
No.
So we do have a road inventory that gives, and what we did, our engineering department started from the bad roads all the way to they're okay, which would be like your newer developments. And so so we have that inventory, and I can send that out as well for y'all to look at. And it gives, you know, like I said, it kind of grades the roads, from worse, the better. But as far as how much it's gonna cost, it changes year to year. Seems like everything changes from year to year, and we add, even our capital improvement, any of the jobs, we always add 20% on every year, because of just the mass change and prices for material.
I would think 1% is pretty low, inflation, 3.5%. And that's realistic. I just don't want to get, I'm 90 years old, and Debbie's still a lawyer, and says, oh my God. We need to increase the bill rate by 3 times.
Will DOT be done by then?
Well, and you've got to find ways to put revenue in your general funding. And if you, yes, property taxes is the worst thing that we could ever talk about. We don't even like to talk about it in the office, because that is the worst thing that we ever want to do to the citizens, or even have to suggest that to the mayor and council. So you've got to find ways that will bring revenue into your city that is not going to be a hardship for your citizens. The way to do that is to bring commercial. We've always lacked commercial. We have no problems with residential. But we do not have enough commercial. Commercial is what brings your revenue. Yes, you do get revenue off a home, a one-time revenue, when the home is being built, but you don't have, we've never had long-term revenue. So we're working on that now. If we never get another home in the city of Houston, we'll be okay, but we've got to have commercial. And so, about 2 years ago, I did approach the mayor and council, and I challenged them to find ways that will bring revenue but not put the hardship on the citizens. And I believe with your mayor and council, they are challenged to find ways, and are your the city staff, we are challenged to find ways, and property tax be the absolute last resort. And I think we all can agree to that.
Yeah, and one of the major issues is there isn't currently a master plan. There's a plan, but there's not a master plan. And so we know that we've got growth coming, and we know the roads are gonna need repaired, but we've not sat down and worked out a master plan, and that's the reason we keep coming back to why it's so important to get the feedback from you, so we can create this master plan, and next year, when you ask that question, we can sit here and say, okay, we have this much revenue coming in from commercial, we have this much building going on, we know that the road repairs are going on, we negotiated with this development to make sure they do road maintenance for 10 years and so forth. We don't have that right now, but we are creating it.
And that's part of the capital improvement 5-year project plan and 10-year plan that we're
Yes.
working on, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
And we'll have that report for you as well. I don't know how long it's going to take to get that generated, but we are in the process of working through those.
We've actually done quite a bit in less than a month, to be honest with you. Yeah.
I can, maybe we need to clock you in and out. But she does, the mayor does work at least 4 to 6 hours a day, and she's come in and just went to the bulls by the horn, or the bulls by the horn, and she has kept us busy in a good way, and it's very refreshing to have Mayor Martin and Councilmember Dave Brown in here, and I know there's a few others I saw come in. Scott Corder, it will be in January, and J.J. Jackson will be in January, and
Tina Brown
will be in January. So we're looking forward to working with them, and just having new ideas and fresh ideas is what the city needs. Positive feedback from you all will make this a great team.
Thank you. I'm going to go to Jack Flitt.
This is not a landscaping question. Trail. I think it was sometime last year, they allocated X amount of dollars to find new wells and water sources. I don't remember when that was, but I want to did they ever find any of our water sources? I think they said we should take it,
Yes, so we have two, very promising ones on the Perkle property, that we've been working on for a couple of years. We are actually working with Coulter right now. There's 3, zones that we are working with them on, but right now it's in the attorney's hands, for Coulter. And, but we have given them a draft agreement that we want to, either purchase the land, well, have suggested to purchase, or if they would, do some kind of partnering with us, on that. But we have three areas, and I have a map on that if y'all want to see that.
You
And,
guys need to spend about 4 to 6 hours a day here, so you can see all this amazing stuff.
yes. Well, I'm making notes of every little, map that we're gonna send out to MailChimp, so don't forget to give email addresses. We do have some others that we're looking at that are possibly, on the other side of 53. But, it is something we need. We need to generate our own water. But it's a process, and, our engineer comes in every other week, and he spends, 8 to 10 hours with us. And that's all we talk about is sewer and water. And, it is definitely something that we have to stay on top of, with this extreme growth. We cannot get behind, unfortunately. And wells and, sewer capacity and water, not just talking about wells, but where are we going to generate the water? Because we get water from Jackson County and we get it from Brazelton, but Jackson County is growing in a hole as well. So they're not going to always be able to maintain our needs. So we've got to be able to, be more independent. So we're working on that.
1 second. Phil?
Just to follow up something Dave actually brought up, or, kind of alluded to it, goes to the parks, points made tonight, and some of the commercial planning and that. Does the city retain professional outside services like urban planners that can look at Houston on a macro basis? One gentleman said 70,000 feet, but bring their professional talents and resume to bear, to at least present a conceptual plan and have the citizens give that consultant the feedback, obviously in your presence, but let him hear out what the citizens are saying based on whatever our background is, or our interests are at that. And he can bring it together in a fashion that would be acceptable, conceptually acceptable to, have a vision.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing with parks, there's a lot of highly qualified landscape architects, park and recreation professionals that, if you had a concept developed with the input of the citizens and the council, they could come out and, like one lady said, I think you don't know if we had a model, but they could present a model of what they are proposing or recommending. They're not proposing to provide any more services, they're providing that vision or that plan for things like parks and rec.
Can I say one
So
thing,
if
though?
there's seed money for that purposes, these consultants will work for free.
Yes. So we actually did have a presentation from 3 different, landscapers that, had done many parks for Gainesville and Maysville and, different parks around, the
North Georgia area.
the North Georgia area. One thing, of course y'all know this, is that we can't, because it is public, we have to make sure that we are at a higher standard because it is a public park. So we made sure that, the landscapers were certified in public parks. So 3 did come out and present to the public in a public meeting. We picked, Brewer Engineering Architects. They were a whole, they had engineers and architects, and they had landscapers all together in one group. They were the ones that the mayor and council chose to work on the Mulberry project. They're they work on it all the time. If you see strange people out there, it's probably them. I drove by today and saw people I had not seen, and it was them out there. So they're constantly out there, and the mayor and council told the vision of what they wanted to see out there, and they put everything on paper. And that's what I'm going to send y'all, that concept plan. So we do have a concept plan there.
Yes, Scott?
What the gentleman was saying, that we, in Athens, Georgia, we have the Carl Vinson Institute of Governance, and they are very capable of putting together 5, 8, 10-year maintenance and operation budgets for people. They're capable of working on any aspect of government that any city or county has that they would like professional help on. It's not cheap, but we certainly have access to that.
And that's the meetings that I already spoke about, one I had yesterday and one Jennifer and I have next Tuesday.
Yep.
We've gotta give them our ideas of what we want so they can say, oh, okay, it's gonna cost you this. And remember, we're also trying to be respectful of y'all's money. These are great ideas, but all those ideas cost money. So if you're willing for us to spend that kind of money, I mean, it's really kind of up to you. So I do like the urban one, though. I think we'll talk about that at the retreat a little bit. Yes? We kind of do. Jennifer and I had a
Got an
meeting.
update today.
Yes, we got an update today, and I actually have their plan. It's kind of ugly. I asked them for pretty pictures and a drone view driving through the parking lot, kind of nice.
See flowers. And
Yeah, flowers and benches
landscape,
and
yeah.
a parking spot that says mayor. I didn't do that. I promise you I didn't do that. Yes, there's going to be retail space, there's going to be, I did think they did say 2 drive-through restaurants, sit-down restaurants, they're looking at clothing, they're looking at,
Furniture.
Nails. I told them bookstore was really important, we want bookstore. I also told them hobby.
Do what? Oh, you want a Chick-fil-A?
They mentioned Chick-fil-A, by the way. So it was really interesting to talk to them today because what they're going to do, what they do, and I'm just going to share what I think I understood them to say. You'll correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure, is they flush out to a bunch of restaurants and businesses we're building, are you interested? And they want everybody and their brother to respond to that, and then they pick and choose. 3 of the ones that we met today are going to New York next Monday. They have it's not really
like an expo or something.
Yes, expo, convention.
Yeah.
You know, you've been to those where you go to booth by booth by booth, and it's all food, which next year I want that in our budget. I know. I'd like to add that to our budget, please. I know.
No, they should pay for it, not us.
Never mind, strike that.
We'll get Kroger to pay
We'll
for
get
it.
Kroger to pay. Yeah, that would be fabulous. But I don't know if they're tasting booths. I have no idea. I've never been to one. Would love to go to one. They also have that for regular retail.
We'll go try some clothes out.
Right. So anyway,
Yeah, count me in.
So we did talk to them about the Jackson County survey that was out the last 2 to 3 months ago. We have some general results of that already, which please come to January Mayor Q&A because the person who performed that survey is presenting Houston-specific survey responses. Well, I've given that information, a little bit, that information to them. So I thought it was a great meeting today. They did say this, to answer your question. That was a very long-winded answer to what's the timeline. They said they would break ground Q2 next year, quarter 2 of next year, and they plan to have everything open in the summer of 2025. Correct? Is that what you heard also?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Publix will be open before summer 24.
We talked about the light at 53 and Peachtree. Yeah, it was very interesting.
Another year. I'm so sorry. I know it.
Yes, ma'am.
The water and sewer, it just keeps going around in my head. Was this a problem or concern before all these houses?
I'm gonna let Dave respond to that. This is his passion right now.
I want to talk freely about something I didn't want to be on.
Right now, it seems like when it's still a problem, we're still doing homes. So we're gonna start experiencing some of these issues.
Dave, I know this is your passion. Go, Dave.
Yeah, it's a problem. If you look at our chart, we have basically more homes for zoning than we can currently supply sewer to. However, that is zoning. Where you get into having to supply is either you have an agreement with them, which the council and the city manager was very intelligent there and didn't give a written agreement or anything to, is when you give them plots. For example, Crestwind, Twin Lakes, they have plots. They have the right to get sewer and water. A development that just was approved, say last month or something, that was zoning. So that development was zoned for that area, but it wasn't provided plots at that time, which means right now, I guess they could go out there and build, but they wouldn't get sewer or water. We don't have to supply that right now. So we're working with our current sewer department. There's what's called a phase 2 that's supposed to come on in 2029. Possibly, I've heard, if everything goes really, really well, it could be 2028. And that will supply everything we need plus. But until that point, we just simply don't have the water for all the current zoning. I mean, when you look at everything. So it is a problem that the current council and mayor is gonna be looking at and working with those developers. But yeah, you would think that when somebody approves something, she would have the supplies and the infrastructure for it.
And the biggest, and another concern is sewer, the water, when these big, water systems up in like Kroger and Publix, they're gonna need a lot of all of that.
You'd be surprised, the commercial
Actually
uses
don't.
a lot less.
A lot.
A lot less.
Because you thinking about people are not doing laundry, showers, toilets. Well, yeah. Yeah.
It's less.
I mean, how many times when you go to a grocery store do you use the bathroom? Not much, you know? That's what I'm saying. So it doesn't,
I try not to.
right. So if you think about it in that concept, it's not very impactful for the city to have commercial when it comes to water and sewer. Now residential, yes, yeah, residential is I don't want to say the word burden, but it is
By far the most.
yeah, it takes a lot for the city to service residential versus commercial.
Greg,
Rich Miller.
say your name. Rich Miller again.
Oh, we got lots of.
Just following up on this, I mean, you obviously threw a pretty big piece of information at us there, 2028 to 2029. So what happens to the water and sewer situation between now and 2028? Is there some sort of a patch or, I mean, do you put on a portable
Toilet?
processing plant? I mean, are there out-of-the-box solutions?
There are plans. There are plans. You wanna,
These developers that, you know, the big piece of land across from the main entrance that's sold, are they just not gonna build until, like, when are they breaking ground on all the homes when they're shopping?
Well, this
I'm-
is my question. Are there, backup solutions to
There's two different plans. One's that they call a .95 phase, and there's a 2.0 phase to increase, water and sewer treatment. That's a lot of money, and that's what Dave was referring to, that would not be completed until very late 2028 or 2029.
Between now and then, what?
There's,
Well,
we have, do you want to answer that?
I'm so sorry. Don't feel like you're not gonna be able to flush your toilet in 5 years.
Yeah, you won't have a problem now.
I feel like I saw the fear on your face that we're going to get porta potties for all the residents. We're not. You are okay. When we build out Crestwind Twin Lakes, I think that's the majority that are here, you know. We are prepared for some of the most of the existing developments that have already started. And when they finish, we're good there. What got us into the concern mode was the most recent rezonings. We're having to work through that. So you had mentioned right across the street from Twin Lakes. What are they going to do? We're still working on a water sewer agreement with them. That will go before the mayor and council for approval, but we are working through that, and that will determine what they can do, what they cannot do, and what their schedule will be. So, you know, if it might be something as, you know, you can only, well, first of all, it's going to be 18 to 24 months of infrastructure anyways. Our .95 will go active, which is the next expansion for sewer, in 2025. So that will help with more capacity. Then, as Councilmember Brown said, in 2028, 2029, you'll have the 2.0. That will take care of everything here. We're already going past that on the staff level to talk about the capacity for the 3.0 and the 4.0. And I had mentioned this before about revenue. Houston has got to get to a place where we're making money, not from our citizens, but from others. So my big talk at the retreat with the mayor and council will be, we need to, we're buying water and from Jackson County and Brazelton. We need to be selling it to our neighbors. We don't need to be buying. We need to be selling. We need to make money. We need to set Houston up where almost like we need to be in retirement mode, where you can sit and enjoy, but you're making money. We need to be in that same place. So we are gonna get into that place, but it's got to be good and smart and wise planning on our part. So we are talking about putting a 3.0 at our plant. That, if you look at the map of the city of Houston, there's not much more development we can do. We will literally have to annex in. Well, look at where you can annex in. You can't go toward Brazelton. You can't go toward 211. Where can you go? It'll have to be going toward Winder. So like going toward Bill Watkins Road. That's where you can annex in. Well, we need to be in a place, if they do so desire to annex in anymore, they are the gatekeepers. So what comes into the city is strictly up to the mayor and council. So they're going to listen to you to see if we need to grow anymore. But we do need to be in a place, we do not need to be in the place that we are now, where we are dreaming about the capacity. We need to be in a place where, like I said, we can host whatever we need to host and also sell to neighboring cities and towns, and make money. We've got to make money. So if y'all know of different ideas of how to make revenue, let us know, because my big thing is commercial and food, but selling water and sewer so that we can generate revenue.
The other thing is, one of the meetings, we passed out a chart that looked similar to this, and I know you can't read it right now. There's more of them back there. I'm gonna stick around afterwards if you'd like, and I can explain to you where the numbers are at and literally show you which developments that we've got to watch and all that. But like Jennifer said, the current sewer, the current water that we have for residents that's going on, Twin Lakes, all of the developments that are going, it's more than ample. We're there for that. What we're concerned about is what's been planned recently for the future. And by the time we get to the 2.0, we will have more than we need for that as well. So if you have questions about that, I'll go over all the numbers with you.
Can I tell you one more thing? Mayor Martin just reminded me. So the tank that we have right across from the fire department, it's not 100% active, right? We're waiting on a booster pump because we need a little bit more. We need a little bit more help for that pressure. So we went out for bid. We got the bid approved. It's going to be is it May, February? They'll start working on it in February, probably done no later than spring. When you see that happen, that tank will be 100% active, and you'll see a difference in your pressure, in your water pressure, if you have water pressure issues.
Yes.
Yep.
Hold on, Ace, you have, and Rodney, you've had your hands up for,
Didn't realize that. I want to pull on that string just a little bit, and all the discussions about the water, now it made me think about the fire hydrants, and where is that connection between, I don't know, the fire chief and the city planner, to make sure that the development has the pressure to support fire suppression, county, or who owns that, the county, the city, the state?
We own those, if it's on our streets, but, the West Jackson Fire Department comes out, once or twice a year. I know for a fact once, and they test the pressure of every hydrant in the city of Houston, and they let us know if there's an issue. There's usually not. If you see one that's black, that's bad. So.
The future development, for all needs to be done. We looked at that, and they said, yeah, we're good, the water pressure to support that.
Yeah.
Even though there's not plots yet.
Right, so that's where our engineering comes in. They have to submit plans before they even get started, and they tell them exactly what they have to have. And again, Dr. White's, our city planner, is very tedious. Our engineering firm, EMI, is very tedious. They are going to make them do it right the first time. So, and we do put it back on the developer, to make sure that everything can be handled. You know, when we had, Coulter first came in, there was, and I don't know if y'all still, have issues with pressure as much, but we were constantly going out there trying to help with I remember we couldn't even get the irrigation to even, water the flowers at the front of the entrance, because of the pressure. But between us and our engineer and the developer, we got it up to a good pace. So I hope that answers your question. If not, just let me know.
Rodney?
I just learned that you know the property part in, it's not the plots, so they're not going to set up with that. What's the problem of saying, okay, what if we buy use, or if you need to buy septic tank? What's the problem with the development to do that? Make a lot big enough for a house to have septic tank. This is the first time I've ever had a store in my life, I've been on septic tank all my life.
Yeah, and some that are in the Deer Creek area, Peachtree, a good portion of the citizens are on septic tanks over there. Mhm.
Going future, yes, but going future, maybe yes, but we have to deal with what the cars we've been dealt with now.
And you're right, yeah, it's not that easy, because the lots are not big enough for it. If you go, and I know what you're saying, they haven't done the preliminary plats, so let's change it now. But on the conditions, it is already on there that that we have to provide water and sewer. So it's already on there. So if we go back and say, scratch that, let's do septic tank.
It's already on there.
Yeah, it's on there.
Said all you gotta do is rezone it, the plots are not set, so they're not entitled to water and sewer, until the plot is set, that's what they said a while ago. If they're not set and not entitled to it, you make them change the size of the lots.
I believe state environmental will not let you put in septic.
Under,
2 acres,
Uh-huh.
if there's sewer available, if there's sewer in your area, if you're in a sewer service area, you can't put in septic.
yeah, and that goes back to the units. If we've already approved for the rezone of the units, then you can't go and change their unit size. Yeah, yeah, but no, good thought. Great thought.
Anybody else?
I do have one question from YouTube. So, Melinda Allen asked, is there a plan to get the village of Houston off well water? The well water is eating, our copper piping in our home.
We would have to certainly, discuss that with our engineer. But, we can,
Yeah,
We can
I was
dig
not
into
aware.
yeah, we can dig, let Melinda know that we can dig into it and get an answer for her.
Okay, well, I think that's, about it today. I hope you have found this useful and helpful and free-flowing, meaning that you can ask anything, we'll answer anything. So, I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you. It's done. Okay, hope to see you next month. We'll have Chad Bingham, and he will be talking about what's going on in the county, which will be also